Sometimes my aluminum projects require a lot of welding, and it'd be nice if I could MIG weld and TIG weld aluminum at the same time without having two machines on hand. Well, that is possible, and I'm going to show you how to do it with the Multimatic 220 AC/DC. With the Quick Tech feature of the Multimatic, we can go from MIG steel to TIG steel or aluminum because the machine remembers your settings in each process. All you have to do is pull the trigger on the MIG gun or step on the foot pedal and the machine seamlessly switches processes. But to MIG weld aluminum properly, I'm going to be using the Spoolmate 150. And to keep from having to use two bottles of argon, I've got a dual flow meter regulator. This way I can hook up one bottle and feed both the MIG and TIG gas solenoid on the back of the machine. This is a pretty cool setup because I have to run the MIG and TIG at different flow rates. Hooking up the Spoolmate 150 is pretty straightforward. Just cut the end off the wire of the MIG gun, roll the wire back, unhook the trigger leads, and remove the standard MIG gun. Then install the spool gun in its place. The part number for the dual flow meter is 23-50-580. Just remove the standard argon regulator and gas hoses from both solenoids. Then install the dual flow meter. Run one flow meter hose to the TIG gas solenoid on top and one to the MIG solenoid on bottom. I like to mark my flow gauges so I don't mix up my settings. I use 030 or 035 size ER 4043 or 4943 aluminum wire for most of my MIG jobs. I like to feed the wire into the gun first until it goes into the barrel assembly. Then put the spool on the shaft and set the tension to just a light drag. Now pull the trigger and set your gas flow to 30 for starters. Warning, read and follow all labels and your owner's manuals. I got my machine set for MIG welding aluminum. Now, unlike MIG welding steel, where you can push or drag the gun, with aluminum, you always want to push. That way, it blows that oxide layer away from your weld bead and won't contaminate it. Now that I made a weld bead, those settings are locked into memory. Then, select the TIG aluminum process. Let's step on the pedal and set your gas flow rates. I'm starting around 20. Then strike an arc. Okay. Now your Quick Tech is set for MIG and TIG aluminum. I can switch between the two by just pulling the trigger on the spool gun. Or pick up the TIG torch, step on the foot control, and it seamlessly switches. Simple. My next aluminum project for this is to make my battery trays. Let's talk about gas. Your regulator flow meters are calibrated in CFH, that's cubic feet per hour. not pressure. MIG welding usually requires more gas flow. The nozzle opening on this spool gun measures 5/8 of an inch, so I usually start my settings around 30 CFH. TIG is typically less, but there are a lot of variables, like are you using a standard collet body or a gas lens, and what cup sizes are you using. Gas lenses are great. They provide better, more uniform gas coverage, and your flow rates will be lower. It also allows you to pull the tungsten out further past the cup for better visibility and reaching into tight joints. TIG cups are numbered by size. This is a number 8, 7, 6, 5, and a 4 standard cup. Here's a number 8 gas lens, a number 5 gas lens, and a number 11. That number represents the orifice opening in 1/16 of an inch. So this number 8 cup is 8/16, or a ½ inch opening. Since your flow meters are calibrated in CFH, the line pressure will change depending upon the cup size. That is why you need to change your flow rates if you go to a smaller size cup. So this number 8 cup might need 22 CFH, but a number 4 cup might only need 8. If you didn't change the gas settings for these smaller cups, your flow rate would be so intense it would actually cause turbulence and pull in contamination instead of properly shield the weld puddle. Think of it like trying to fill a bucket with a fire hose. There's so much flow, you'd never get any water in the bucket. This is a classic example of more is not always better. Oh, and cup size does matter.